Hello and welcome to Whistler. It is the opening day of the bike park and we are here to see what the locals are riding. We've come to the village, we've got a coffee that our cameraman Tom chose and even he was happy with because apparently I don't have a palate. Now, for the home of Canadian mountain biking, there are a lot of fellow Brits and Aussies about, and quite frankly, there hasn't been this much burnt and puckered flesh since the last time the Weasleys had a family barbecue. But let's get out there and see what these locals are riding. So we're here with Harry and his pretty decked out Dreadnought. Now Harry, with everyone, I'm giving them a choice. Would you like to be very, very kind or very, very honest?
Go for honesty, let's give it a go.
Honesty. I mean, it's a pretty cool bike. There's a lot of pink.
Yeah.
It's very pink. Was that a deliberate choice?
It's 2023, anything goes now.
Anything goes. Now this is like an enduro bike.
Yes.
But you've made it very much ready for the park.
Yes.
What was you thinking? And what, apart from the big fork, have you done anything else?
No, honestly, this is pretty much standard. I mean, I'm running it mullet this season. I did have it full 29 last year, but just want to have fun this year and just like kind of, you know, take a step back from racing and stuff. So yeah, just went for a super fun sort of setup this year. Yeah, got the dual crowns on there. I mean,
have you lowered them?
Yes.
What travel are they?
180.
I see you've got the mud guard on, which is good because it's only like 35 degrees.
Yeah, keep the dust out of your face. Yeah.
Now, what is your? You've got to drive a downhill drivetrain on here, so no pedaling at all on this bike?
Not on this bike.
Just a park bike?
Yeah, just solely park for me.
And what's a bit about this bike that isn't immediately obvious but is very specific to you? What's something that you always have on your bikes, maybe something dimensionally or spring rate or something like that?
Yeah, no, I'd probably say like my stack height here is, you know, I run them pretty tall on like all of my bikes pretty much. I do like it.
And what are you trying to achieve with that?
Just, for me, just being able to sit up a little bit more and just trying to stay a little bit stronger. I mean, I'm not the biggest guy in the world, so like trying to sit back a little bit and not let the arms take all the beating for me is pretty crucial.
But it does, especially with the bike, I suppose, with such a long rear end.
Yes.
It does, you can get a higher front, perhaps.
Definitely, yeah. And I started last year on a large one of these, and then because of obviously how the bike works and stuff, I just found it was a little bit too long for me, so I dropped to a medium, and yeah, a little bit shorter than I'd personally like, so I've kind of tweaked with it, and again, like raising it up has just definitely helped with that a lot.
I think it's a pretty good, the colour's a lot, but honestly, it looks kind of good. Yeah. I think it's a bit too cool for me, but you're quite a cool guy. You got the long flowing hair. I reckon you can pull it off.
Yeah, I was kind of stuck with the purple stem, especially when I ordered this frame. I was a little bit worried that there were going to be a colour match and stuff, but yeah.
Is that
all the oil slick?
Oil slick pad space.
I got all the
all
the bolts.
Yeah, you couldn't resist.
You know, it's a bit naughty for me, but I like it.
What cranks are they? Hopes?
Hopes, yeah, and they are the short cranks as well.
What length are we talking?
You're going to ask me now.
155?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually, probably the worst person to ask this. I don't actually notice a difference, but I really like them.
I like it too.
Yeah. I'd love to do a comparison on this bike by putting some longer cranks on it and then coming back and putting short ones, because I got longer on my trail bike, but not on this bike. So I'd love to do a comparison on this bike to see how it goes.
So true. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Not a problem.
It's a cool bike. Now let's get that mud guard off and get you back up the lift, eh?
No, I'm going to need that.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
So we're here with Jordan. Now, Jordan, you've actually got your own YouTube channel.
Yep.
I saw this bike and I got so excited, I pretty much just my pants. I kicked so many small children out the way in the lift queue because I wanted one of these A-line frames.
Yeah.
So bad. Talk us through, did you get, obviously this fork is kind of iconic in its own right, the Super Monster.
Yeah.
Did you get the fork or the frame first?
So I got the fork first.
Yeah.
And that was just like a dream. When I found out these even existed, I was like, I have to get my hands on one of those. And then it was just like a mission to find out like, how can I put this on a bike and actually make it work?
So is it like a bit of a project bike then?
Yeah,
put it together.
It's quite a long project. So then researching like what frames work best. Apparently the 05 Norco A-line is like the frame to use. So I was like, okay, I actually found a mint condition A-line frame just nearby where I lived, ridden like 5 times in its life. So I was like, wow. And so I got it. Pretty much swapped every single part on the whole bike, except for the cranks. The cranks are the only stock parts still on the frame because they work good. And so using the Super Monster, it produces about a 64.5 degree head tube angle.
Well, that's right on the money.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
Yeah.
And then what you do, you just put a longer rear shock in the rear.
Yeah.
So it's a 10.5 inch eye to eye by 3.5 stroke. So it's the longest shock.
Between friends,
stretched it up.
That bottom bracket's quite high.
420 mils high.
Does it sag pretty deep, I guess?
It's, you know what, I get about 20% sag. It's not It's not like a ton. Like, can I sit on it? Like, it's not like...
It does look more...
It's not a ton.
Hunkered down.
I believe there's a lot of potential with these forks, but the thing is, it was feeling kind of janky. Like when I was first riding it, like, you know, messing with all the dials and like different oils and trying to figure it out. And I've learned so much in the last couple of years.
Yeah, so
and
cool, man.
I actually have a local moto suspension shop that like has been helping me custom tune it.
Yeah, sick.
So we've been changing shim stacks, we've been changing this and that, and like playing with different oils, and I can say it's never ridden this good.
Yes.
So, but we're still not done with it. Like we can still make it even better, I know, because I know what more we're gonna do. But so far, it's been better than ever.
Honestly, we get to see a lot of cool bikes.
Yeah.
I actually really like this.
Yeah,
It's
thanks.
actually sick.
It is fun.
That's
It
not just a
actually
bit
is
of me for the
fun.
camera. I think it's actually sick.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, dude, like the squish, like it's really sick. Just like romping through the
So cool,
stuff.
man. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for showing us your bike.
Right on, man.
The Norco A-line. So we are here with Taj. Now, if you're familiar with the Pinkbike website, you've actually probably seen some of Taj's drawings. Everything from Levy to the rabbits to the aliens, that's all you. Now, we'd have the joke about the BMX background. You are Mr. BMX background, of course, doing some pretty big and gnarly stuff back in the day. Now you're on a hardtail in Whistler Bike Park. What's the thinking behind not being on a full suspension bike like, let's face it, everyone else?
Well, I know they're still working on the trail, so I'm hoping they're gonna just remove the rest of the rocks and the roots, and then I'll be perfect. But no, I don't know what I'm doing, and this feels most comfortable for me, but I'm gonna try to keep an open mind, and maybe I'll be converted to bouncy bikes this year.
Maybe.
But this is like what works. I can pump it like a BMX bike, and the skills I have retained, the few, translate to this bike better.
I mean, it's certainly, even though it is a hardtail, it's long. It's visibly, obviously long. It's pretty slacked out. You've got some burly parts on there. I noticed your brake angle is quite low. Is that to kind of keep weight on the front? We were speaking off camera about how important it is to keep the front tracking well on a hardtail, right?
Yeah, I think that's a definite leftover BMX thing. Is I used to ride really bare over my bars, so I'd run my levers straight down, and these actually feel rolled back to me, even though they're like. But yeah, to make that fork grip, I have to really get my weight way over the front, so I'm way on top of it, and those straight down levers kind of help. And I actually steepen the head tube. I have an angle set the wrong way to make it steeper, because it felt too slack.
Yeah.
But then I put a big front wheel on it, so it's popped back up again, and I don't know, it's somewhere probably close to where it's supposed to be.
And in terms of fork settings, we noticed you've actually got a handy little reminder on the back there of what your settings are. What are you trying to go for in the fork? Are you ramping it up to God knows what?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty heavy, and I just want it to move as little as I possibly can, but still grip.
And one last question. Flat pedals in the bike park on a hardtail. Also notice you're just kicking around in some just kind of casual Vans.
Yeah.
It's not like you're wearing, the Super 510s with the ultimate stealth grip that will grip to anything and you can walk upside down on the ceiling. Are you getting any foot shuffle, or is that something because some people don't really care about the foot shuffle? For me, when my feet start bouncing around, it weirds me out a bit.
No, I don't like that. But I actually think that with these shoes, I mean, I get free Vans, so that might just be the end of it. But I kind of they're so floppy. I can kind of
get the monkey
grab
grip
my monkey feet grab onto the pedals, and that's sort of like how I know where I am on the pedal. When I have mountain bike shoes that are real stiff, I start floating around more because I can't tell if I'm in the right spot.
You can go, and they're also can you remember Mel B out the Spice Girls? She had these platforms that were like this thick, some mountain bike shoes. It's like you're standing on chalk ices.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
You're that high up in this, and you just feel like you're actually pivoting over and around the pedal axles.
Yeah.
But thank you for showing us your bag, this Chromag Stylus hardtail. Fair play for riding a hardtail in the bike park. And I've been speaking off camera, I might try and shove you my downhill bike at some point, and we get some impressions. Maybe we'll do a refresher at some point.
I'll give it a try.
So we're here with James and his Revel Rail. You're kind of up to cut some laps after work.
Cut some laps after work.
Now, James, I'm giving some people the option. Would you like me to be very honest or very kind?
Honest.
Honest.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful bike.
Yeah.
Each part individually is wonderful.
Right.
But you've kind of mixed a nice pistachio ice cream with a rich bolognese sauce in some ways.
I have.
There's a lot going on here.
There is.
Obviously it's for dirt jumping.
Yeah.
The forks are unbelievably hard.
Yeah.
What were you trying to achieve at the bike, and has it delivered?
So I kind of wanted a jump-focused freeride bike, hence why I run so much pressure in the shock and the fork. Tires are super firm. I've got it set up brake cables wise for bar spins and tail whips. Single speeded, kind of a lot going on. It's good fun.
And would you ride this? Obviously, you ride it in the park.
Yeah.
But would you go into the tech trails, or is it
Yeah,
just the flow?
I'd soften everything up a little bit. I probably drop 20 PSI. I run 50 in both for normal life. So
Tubeless or?
they're tubed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I run the really lightweight Schwalbe tube in the front and then the Pirelli one in the back.
Oh yeah.
The kind of plasticky ones.
Yeah.
Super cool.
And would you have this bike set up in this one guise, or do you have any ideas to kind of maybe like diversify? Because obviously it's going to be really good at what it's good to do, but it's a very specific purpose here.
Yeah, for sure. So probably as I progress throughout the season, if I want to pedal a little bit more, obviously it's super hot in the Sea to Sky right now, so the bike park is kind of come at a good time. But eventually I'll probably get a new back wheel and
just
put a
swap 'em
cassette on and swap them so I can pedal and so I can.
It would be
run single
expensive,
speed.
but you could get like an AXS. Obviously I say this like willy-nilly, it's like a ton of money.
Just could.
But if you've got an XS dropper and an XS drivetrain,
I
you
know.
can just go on
Just
off.
in off, on
On
off.
off.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm like conducting here.
I used the external route on my last bike.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Which works really well, but yeah, like it's nice to not see cable.
I mean,
so AXS is cool.
It is a beautiful bike.
Yeah.
You said that you weren't going to mention this, but I'm curious because there's quite
Yeah.
a bit of resistance. Is
I
that
run
just
it really stiff.
Yes. And can you explain to people that perhaps aren't in tune with all the specialist kind of setup you might do for a dirt jump bike?
Yeah, for
why,
sure.
Why people do that?
Yeah, so as soon as you take your feet off on a conventional enduro bike, downhill bike, trail bike, you can get some pedal spin. And if you're landing a trick with your pedals up like that, it's like half the area that you can land on. I'm from a BMX background, so my crank
BMX
arms.
background, the memes.
My crank arms are my friends, so a lot of my tricks I'll land half on pedal, half on crank.
Yeah.
Don't sue me. So yeah, it's good for them not to spin for me.
And do you go, in terms of your shoe set, we're speaking about this a bit to Taj, do you want all out grip or do you want a bit of shuffle? Because when you're taking your feet on off the pedals, it can actually sometimes not be useful to almost that locked in feeling from the 510.
So I never clip.
Yeah.
I run Vans,
Yeah.
and I run the pressure pedals from Chromag, and I've still got the spacers in. As they burn out, I'll lift them, but I don't need a whole lot of grip.
Nice.
Yeah.
One last question.
Yeah.
You've run it again. We saw this with Taj's bike as well, another BMX backgrounder. Pretty steep brake levers.
Yeah.
What size frame is this?
It's a medium.
Is a medium.
Yeah, and they run slightly small.
And so you'll be able to be quite at the front of the bike anyway.
Yeah.
But what's your thinking? Is that in terms of weight in the front and techier trails, whatever? Is it how you load the bike up so that BMX sort of scooping up the bike and pushing it through again?
Kind of. I've got semi big fingers, so
Yeah.
it's enough to get just the tip on, and it works super well for me because any tricks where I take my hands off, they're not in the way. So I'm not going to grab lever and pull brakes and fly to my death.
Yes, totally.
Nobody wants to fly to their death, especially in the park.
Yeah,
It's
right.
pretty rowdy, even when it's like nice and fresh like this. But yeah, super stoked on it.
Well, Mega, thanks for showing it us.
Yeah.
I'll be curious. We'll get some laps in hopefully later on today.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see
Get the V10 out.
what happens. Yeah.
Bit of
that's it.
dentistry downhill.
Yeah, right. Mega, well, thank you for showing us your bike. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, dude.
So that's it. That's a couple of bike checks from the opening day of Whistler Bike Park. To be honest, we didn't really want to get under people's feet too much as they were trying to smash out some runs, so we just got the 4 in. That and my work ethic is waning and I want to go ride myself. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you next time.